Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is January 28th, 2025, and Hansi Flick has made his final decision in regards to who will be Barcelona's goalkeeper. Also, Alejandro Balde given a master class on how to behave to Vinicius Jr. And finally, we do have bad news because Andreas Christensen is injured. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we will begin this video with bad news because Barcelona have confirmed that Andreas Christensen has suffered another injury. Now it looks like Christensen suffered an injury yesterday, Monday, and he has injured his calf and therefore he will be ruled out for 3 weeks. So it's definitely bad news for both Flick, who was hoping to count on Christensen given that Íñigo Martínez is injured, and also bad news for the player because he spent the entire first half of the season injured. He was hoping to start getting some minutes, and now he is sidelined by yet another injury. Now, Andreas Christensen, entourage or circle, have confirmed that it's not the same injury. Remember, before it was his Achilles heels. He actually got surgery on both Achilles heels, but it is close to his previous injury. It's a calf injury, but it's still close to the Achilles heel, so not the same one, but nonetheless it's still close. So it's gonna be, curious to see whether the two are related. Now, in order to replace Andreas Christensen, Hansi Flick called up Landry Farré, the 18-year-old right back from Barca Athletic, who can also play as a center back. He is both Spanish and he also is from Côte d'Ivoire. Ooh, how you like my French? You probably thought you had changed the language to French by accident, but anyways, I kid. So Landry Farré has been called up to training during with the first team today with Hansi Flick. We'll see if he's gonna be included in tomorrow's squad list against Atalanta, but just know that Hansi Flick already, checking out his options in the Barca Athletic for replacements. Now, finally, we will talk about Pedri because, as you know, the Barcelona midfielder, the engine of this team, the brains of this operation, had to miss the match against Valencia due to a stomach virus, and the club have confirmed that he is 100% healthy. He's back, and therefore he will be part of tomorrow's squad against Atalanta in what will be the final match of the group stages in the Champions League, where Barcelona are currently sitting second. If they win and Liverpool lose, we could end up first, but either way, Barcelona are guaranteed a spot in round of 16 of the Champions League. Now, speaking of tomorrow's match, of course, Hansi Flick participated in a pre-match press conference. I'm not going to cover the entire conference, but I will cover two important topics, or at least what I thought was important out of this conference. The first one is the decision on who it's going to be, Wojciech Szczesny or Iñaki Peña. And this is what the German coach had to say. I know when I say something good about Szczesny, it seems like I'm saying that Iñaki is weaker. But I don't like that because my job is to make a decision. They are both very good goalkeepers. So I decided with my staff to go for Szczesny. They are both very good. Iñaki did a great job in the past as well. But I decided that way. It's always a difficult decision. The goalkeeper position is very special. It's one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hansi Flick has made up his mind. Barcelona's first goalkeeper looks like it's going to be Szczesny. In fact, he's going to be starting tomorrow against Atalanta. But of course, Flick is still highlighting, how great Iñaki Peña was at the beginning of, or at least the first half of the season, which makes me wonder. I wonder if Hansi Flick's plan was always to have Szczesny start, but he was just buying some time while Szczesny got back into competitive form and competitive rhythm, because after all, Szczesny was out for several months after his brief retirement. Now, finally, the other topic that I'm going to cover about Hansi Flick's press conference was his words about what he thinks is the most important competition, and this is what the German coach had to say. For me, La Liga is the most important thing we can win. We can aspire to it throughout the season. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we also want other competitions like the Super Cup, the Copa del Rey, or the Champions League. The Champions League is the most difficult to win because there are many teams that are doing very well. Tomorrow we want to win because we want to finish in the best possible position in the first place. So according to Hansi Flick, to him at least, the Liga is the most important title. As always, you might have heard of this before, but usually the leagues are considered kind of the consistency trophy, right? Because you have to constantly do well in the Champions League or knockout competitions. You might, get lucky in a match and advance to the second phase. In La Liga, you might get lucky 1-2 matches. It's not going to matter because it's 38 matches. You have to do well over 38 matches, not over 7 or 12 or however matches it may be in those knockout tournaments. So Flick considering La Liga the most important, but of course saying the Champions League is the most difficult because, of course, it has a lot more difficult teams. And I want to hear you guys' opinions. Do you agree with Flick? Do you think La Liga is the most important? Do you think the Champions League is the most difficult? Let me know down below. Now, from Hansi Flick, we move on to Alejandro Balde, who also participated in a pre-match press conference. And I do want to focus on the statements that he made about the racial abuse that he suffered at the hands of Getafe fans, because it was an absolute masterclass to the Ballon d'Or winner, Vinicius Jr., because this is what Balde had to say. It was a difficult situation. I received several insults. I don't know what to say. Because 3 or 4 people insult you, it shouldn't be generalized to all of Spanish football. I think I acted well when reporting. Being called black doesn't bother me. I'm black and I'm proud of it. What surprises me is the fact that they abuse you when Getafe has a black captain. So, ladies and gentlemen, bravo. This is how you react to racial abuse. First of all, Alejandro Balde, when he suffered that abuse, did not make a scene, did not start fighting with the fans, did not start insulting them, did not hit a player from Getafe. Instead, he remained calm. He finished the match, and when the match was over, he walked over to the referee, reported the insults, and let the referee handle it so he can include it in his report, and then escalate it to the proper authorities so they can conduct an investigation. Right there, masterclass on how to behave, because we've seen how Vinicius Jr. has reacted, causing a circus, a show, insulting the fans, getting into fights with the opposing players. Balde remained calm, reported it, no big deal. But then it goes even further, because then Alejandro Balde talking about, hey, I don't care if they insult me. I'm black. I'm proud of it. It's not a big deal. And this is very important, because when people insult you, whether it be racial slurs or whatever insults, all they're trying to do is get in your head. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're trying to get you angry. They're trying to hurt your feelings. And if you just ignore it, you take all the power out of their words. And that's yet another masterclass by Alejandro Balde on how to react. And finally, Alejandro Balde saying that just because 3 or 4 people make these idiotic racial insults, it doesn't mean that everybody in the Getafe fan base are bad or racist. Doesn't mean that all Spanish football is racist. This is just a few Neanderthals that don't know how to react or how to act in public, and therefore not generalizing, again, as opposed to the Ballon d'Or winner who all of a sudden started saying that the World Cup shouldn't be held in Spain. And bravo, Balde, on showing us how a person should behave like a civilized adult rather than throwing tantrums and creating scenes. Anyways, speaking of the racial abuse, Javier Tebas discussed it, and this is what the La Liga president had to say. The Balde issue is an issue that only he heard, and we have to see what has happened. Sometimes there are questions about, because that's what the match officials are there for. There are more people. It was seen if it continued or not, and it seems that they didn't continue. So there you have it, folks. Apparently only Balde heard the racial insult, so I guess he's just making it up, right? He was just bored and decided that day to make up racial abuse. I'll tell you, this guy is a piece of you-know-what. I mean, when Vinicius Jr. was racially abused, they banned the Valencia fans for life from the stadium, the ones who were caught doing it. They shut down the entire part of the stadium. But when it's Alejandro Balde, we don't know. It's only him who heard it. What an absolute piece of you-know-what. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading 2 more videos because there's a lot of news to discuss today. So stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.